God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not mine. Amen. Here is the beautiful, beautiful sunrise starting to peek through this cloud of haze. We've started with a morning of showers in Barbados. It's been raining since about, I would say, midnight. So we are at the highest point in Farley Hill this morning, at the very top, looking over the beautiful East Coast. Sleeping Giant in the distance, as I said before. The lovely Morgan Lewis Beach going into Long Bay, and behind the curve, a little bit of the East Coast Road. It's not just beautiful this morning, and it's lovely and easy here. And we would like to thank the NCC for allowing us to come into Farley Hill so early in the morning. You have to request special permission because usually the gates open about 10 o'clock, not before. Maybe if it's an early morning event here, then they're open before. So we thank them very much for accommodating our requests. And so we have a little history this morning. But before we do the history, we have a group of beautiful ladies here with me this morning. Everybody thought to wear their beautiful EMC shirts. And so we have some wonderful faces to show you. So we start off with Switch Mary. Morning, Mary.
Good morning, everybody.
And we'll leave that for last. Now we have Kim.
Okay, let's turn the camera a little bit down for Kim. Okay, there you go, Kim.
Because she's a little short. So Kim has been invested with her new shirt, Southie Spice. See, look at her, all dressed up. Morning, sweet Caroline. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Good. And we got Party Spice out. Minus her shirt. You see, she's dressed for cold. Yes. Well, I don't need to tell you, this is our sulking dictator. And she's been very good this morning. And look who came all the way from Tennessee just to be present to give Nicholas trouble. Water Spice.
And no ankle bracelet. She has been released for the weekend, evidently.
Yes. So Simone is here with us in the house. Yes. So let me say good morning to the true star of the EMC. Good morning, sweetheart.
We get there together. Good morning.
So we're back to the true star after that moment of cartoon character. Yes, Miss Jeanette is here with us. And last but not least, here is the birthday boy who is now going to give me a challenging 360. But I am now an expert on the gimbal, his gimbal. So our birthday boy is here. All in blue.
How many women? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Help!
And of course, I'm here. So good morning, everybody. So we are taking a beautiful walk this morning in lovely Farley Hill. And there are tons and tons of history on Farley Hill. Of course, I'm now dealing with my background 10-second feedback. But every now and again, I will pan you to this beautiful view. So Farley Hill was originally called Grenade Hall, and this plantation was noted on the maps as early as the late 17th century. It changed ownership several times. It was first owned by William Doughton IV, who inherited it from his father, William Doughton. They owned it up to the 1820s, and then Samuel Innes took ownership up to 1839, when he sold it to Joseph Briggs, And Briggs gave it to his son, Thomas Briggs, later to be known as Sir Graham Thomas Briggs. So the plantation at that time was like a small little house. Nothing of this estate, none of the property that we now see that is now in ruins, because Sir Thomas Briggs then expanded on it and made it into this fantastic palace that we see in front of us. And from 1837 up to his death in 1887, he expanded it, enhanced the grounds, and gave so many regal receptions and gatherings to great and famous people at the time, princesses and authors and different people who came on boats to Barbados. And this was considered a palace and the place to be in Barbados if you wanted to entertain royalty. So it was during this period that Sir Thomas Briggs had the ownership of it that Farley Hill was substituted for Grinnell Hall. Though historians thought that Elizabeth Doughton, the wife of Abel Doughton, an earlier owner of the Grinnell Hall plantation, gave the name Farley Hill because her father John had built Farley Hill Palace in Berkshire around 1730. So that's how they feel that Farley Hill came into being. But once Sir Thomas Briggs owned the plantation, he used more the name Farley Hill than Grinnell Hall, and that was how the name change came about. Okay. After Briggs died, the palace lost much of its luster and started to fall into disrepair. It captured some of its early splendor when it was restored in 1956 for the filming of Island in the Sun. And that was the song I started with by 𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲 𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲 this morning, Island in the Sun, because that's how Barbados is described. It was said that some flammable materials not removed from the site after the filming here caused the fire in 1965. And after that, the Barbados government acquired the property and Queen Elizabeth opened it as a national park in 1966. And this venue has been used for so many events from the late 1990s. The Barbados Jazz Festival was here. This used to be the last evening of the Jazz Festival was here in an open air concert, and this area that is now barricade was where the stage would be. And I think this whole area is now, the entire circumference of the property is now circled and in case that you can't get any closer because the buildings sadly are crumbling and it can pose a serious threat to persons, and then children are going in. So as I'll pan up and let you see sadly the cracks that are forming. And we've had storms and the hurricane, the ash and those sort of things, but I believe the concerts, the music may have helped too, because I don't think, these buildings were built for that kind of vibration. So yeah, they've been reggae, gospel fest, reggae on the hill, gospel on the hill, the Barbados Jazz Festival. This area is used for weddings. Some people hold events here, and of course Barbadian families every holiday use this area for family picnics and get-togethers. So it really is a beautiful park. Let me pan and show you from this view. Isn't that beautiful? And in here it's so peaceful and serene this time of morning. It's lovely, and all these trees. Yeah, all these trees have been here forever.
You remember when they were planted, right, Nicole?
Of course, yes. I was here because look at this one. This has to be like from the time the property got here, because just the size and the magnitude of the branches and limbs. So a little bit about Island in the Sun. It was produced in 1957. Actors in it were Harry Belafonte, James Mason, Joan Fontaine, Joan Collins, and Dorothy Dandridge, to name a few. The film is about race relations and interracial romance set on the fictitious island of Santa Marta. And as I discovered, you can go on YouTube, type in Island in the Sun, and see the entire movie, which runs for an hour and 57 minutes. Barbados and Grenada were used as the sites for the movie, and it's based on the 1955 novel by Alec Waugh. The film was controversial for its time of its release of the on-screen portrayal of interracial romance. So, and I see that the SCF now has done some really beautiful, because I haven't been here for a while. All these picnic benches are in different colors, and they used to be a solid brown or cream or whatever, but now they're all in different colors. And the beauty of this location, it's just so quaint and serene. And look at this lovely shot of this building. Can you imagine that with all its windows in place? It was said that it had 100 windows, and it was really, if you go back and watch the movie, you can see pictures of it in its splendor, and the, you know, this whole courtyard area being used, and the inside of it, it was just magnificent. And so if you look at the very top, you can see all the things that are happening to it. This crack has gone right through. See, the crack is right through the roof. And so all of this has to be protected for as long as we can protect it. And this, of course, here would have been the front door. And you can still see right there what the shutters and the windows, because some of that wood is still there. And you can see part of the jealousy of how the window was framed. The glass is gone, but you can see parts of it. And then further inside, you can, if you span, you can look straight ahead. You can see the rubble inside the wall and how the building was built in those days with rubble. And further in the back, you can almost see the original bricks of the chimney. And they're like yeah, how to describe those? What they would have been like the original bricks that would be in the ship to hold down the ship. So it looks like, I'm trying to think of words to describe that, but it looks like little bricks, little brownish bricks, and that most probably was a chimney area.
They're factory stones, actually.
Factory stones. Those were the words I'm looking for. Yes. Yeah. So it's factory stones. So that is kind of where the chimney most probably would have been.
Step up here, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before someone tall like Kim or Simone walk in front of the camera.
So thanks, Nick, for that, because I was just trying to think. So I hope that gives you guys a better view. But just imagine that with beautiful doors and the jealousy windows, and you know, and not Nick's head in it. And just from this view, I'm looking straight down to the back of the property. So you could get an idea of how massive this building was. And all these curves above that would have been another floor, because it was a 2-story building. Oh. Yeah, everybody's fascinated and just watching it, talking and enjoying. Simone is keeping everybody entertained. And Jackie and Carolyn are discussing architectural features.
They're actually carrying out a competition to see who's the tallest.
Yeah,
did you notice just now Simone was tiptoeing trying to get higher
than Kim? Yeah. They're trying to work out who is the tallest between the two of them.
That would be me.
Look at them. Look at them.
Who is the tallest one?
And so I'm standing here looking at the plaque, next to the plaque of the, this is what the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II would have opened on 15th of March 1966. Yes. Yes. And this was done this was done just before we gained independence. So and I'm hoping that you're hearing the beautiful birds singing in the background. Yes. No, not that bird. That bird is called Nicholas Dean. But, you know, so what I'm going to do is go around the side, and so you get to see another view of it as well. But it really is a beautiful property. The trees, oh, they even have this side locked now. Wow. So they really are protecting the property, really protecting the property, because one time you could walk to the side of this, but I suppose now all of, yes, because of all the structural damage is happening, they're keeping you as far away from the property as possible. So let me see if I go a little further down and maybe walk back. I can give you another better view of this side. But the grounds here are really well maintained by the NCC. There's a whole section. When I was a child, it was just the car park, and then the rest of the area in the back was just forest. Now they have landscaped that, and there's also a play park. So Cheryl and I will get to go on swings again this morning. So please make sure that you stick around for me and Cheryl on swings again, because I'm sure that was going to be hilarious. Okay, so I'm walking around so to get you another view of what would have been the side of this property. And so this is a massive, massive, massive property, but very well maintained. Yes. You see this view? And this area kind of lends itself to having weddings. If you didn't want to have a wedding on the above side, you could have it on this side, because the NCC does rent it out for weddings. So we're taking the side view of the property, and again, too late. But now that I am looking at it, I believe what I'm now seeing is the front entrance of the property. Because in most stately homes, the front entrance of the property, and I'm going to span this up for you, has the crest of the owners. So right up at the top in that triangle spot, if you can zoom in, you'll see that bears the crest of the ownership. And so most probably that might have been Sir Thomas Briggs' crest, because he would have been the last owner of the property. And so this area, you would have driven up where we just walked and turned and come in here, and these three doors would have been the entrance into the property. So you kind of get an idea now of how big it is, because it's spanning massive. That is the full length. And so the other side, which we came down first, where you saw that oval, that most probably would have been the evening sunroom or the morning sunroom, because this was the entrance. I wish I could get closer, because the details that show the rooms and how you would have turned left or right, where the kitchens would have been, where the staircase must have been to go upstairs. And this truly is magnificent. And peaceful. It's so peaceful and serene in here this morning.
Even with all these women.
Yeah. With all the excess chatter in the background. Ooh, right, this is beautiful. There's mahogany pods open. Yeah. So that one is open, and that's an open mahogany pod. And this is a closed one. Okay, let me just tilt this. Yes. Okay. Okay. You know how it is. The gimbal has to do its own thing every now and again. So, right, Nicholas is showing us a closed mahogany pod and an open one. And as he moves his hands across, I'm sure you guys get the idea. Yes, and there's a beautiful star in the background. I knew that would work. So this property is really impressive.
All these annoying people with you today, though.
I know, all this love. We have a ton of ladies with us this morning. Everybody's laughing and talking. Everybody is enjoying themselves. So they've put down new bathrooms, of course, for the public. And I keep wondering, see, it had its own cistern and pool. And I think that this is a dripstone, so I'm hoping that it doesn't prove me wrong, that this is the backside of a dripstone, or is this a column of the... Oh, so this, everybody, is a column of the property. So it kind of gives you an idea of how the original walls extended. All of this would have been part of the area that the vehicle, the carriages would have come up. But this property is extensive, it's beautiful, and beyond the property, all of this is part of Farley Hill. And there's a natural woodland behind here. Can you hear how quiet it gets the further I walk away from everybody? Noise is stopped. But all of this is part of the property. This is the back view of the property. And the birds and the trees and the serenity, they're passed behind here as well. And I suppose NCC keeps behind here to work, because you have to appreciate that some of these trees will get older and they will fall. Actually, there's one here where the whole tree is now uprooted. Its roots are out of the ground and it's leaning, so they will come to move it. But you can see the expanse and how old some of these trees are. And they're massive. But it is so serene and so beautiful down here. Yes. I was doing down here to show Mary, everybody, the beautiful trees. And if you stop, there's no chatter. You can hear all the birds singing. And show that all of this is part of the Farley Hill property. It just stretches all the way inland. And that this tree here has fallen. So you see how massive these trees are? And so...
I love how they're cleaned up over here.
Yes,
Beautiful.
yes. They have kept it here nice and clean. Yes, so it's beautiful.
Talking about beautiful.
And look how well trained they are. Once we got into this area, everybody went silent. It's not just amazing.
You have a direct?
You want
So-
to point down, though.
I have to point down.
Yeah.
When I passed Kim and Simone, I got that one. So it's just so beautiful in here this morning. I'm trying to get away from all the chatter because the birds kind of move every time they all come.
Are you here for next week's show?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Does your boss know you're here?
So if you are on island, you must drive through and see the beautiful Farley Hill. See a relic of the past that still is intact. Must be filled with so many stories and lovely balls and ladies dressed in the nines and young girls thinking of young love and officers dressed in their finery. And yes, staff of slaves working and making sure everything running through happening and everything is kept clean and maintained. But that's the best part of history. It has some good, it has some bad, but it tells a story. And I always think if these buildings could speak, what stories they would tell us. Yeah, romance at Farley Hill. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of film. Island in the Sun shows us a part of Barbados that we would not have seen unless you're born in that era like Nick. But if you weren't, you get to see, excuse me, what Barbados looked in 1956 and 1957, even what Grenada looked like in 1956 and 1957. It's so beautiful. And just think, one of these days, our children and our, well, I can't say my children, my great-grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will look back on these videos on YouTube and see your comments, see the fun that we had. My great-grandchildren will hear my voice and see me and say, wow, that's what our great-grandmother looks like. So this is now the back entrance of it. So this is where the staff would have been. And all the rooms, corridors coming down the back. And this is what I thought that column was. And this was a dripstone. I have one of these in my home, and I will, a small replica, and I'll take a picture, show you what it is. But this, you see that coral stone container? That would have been the last dripstone. So the water would have come through the top, and it would drip through a stone like this, and then it would drip through another one, and it would actually, these are two here, and then what would have at the bottom of it, so these are the two dripstones still here. Hope you can see that. There's one there. Let me get my hand over. I mind the barbed wire. Barbed wire is going to make this fun. Okay, that's not working. So, right. There's one dripstone in front and one behind, and those two dripstones would have been one on top of each other, and then there would have been a collecting unit. It might have been out of marble, or the other thing they may have used is clay, like a monkey, to collect the water. And that was the earliest form of doing filtration, water filtration. And so that tells you how advanced Farley Hill was, because this is set up here that as the water comes off the roof and hit, it drips right through, because the whole thing would have been coral stone, and that would have been beautiful. I have a replica home, and I'll take a picture of it and post it and tag EMC people on it so you can see what that would look like. Mine was done out of marble, but the dripstones, like these containers, are out of coral, and then my little container is out of marble, so it's beautiful. And I tried it once or twice, and it does really work. So all of that tells you that this would have been the back of the house, and this is where the kitchen would have been. And look at that hallway, and going back now to the front, and you can see the monument from Queen Elizabeth unveiling in the front, and that gives you the depth of how deep this building was, and how people worked here, lived here, enjoyed here. And the beautiful coral stone, because look at that coral stone, all exposed, and you see the wear and tear of years and years and years. So based on what I told you this morning, this building could have been here anywhere from mid-1800s. And it's interesting, now that I think about it, that every Saturday morning that we have done, where I've done and talked about buildings in Barbados, you notice that there was a massive building boom in Barbados in the late 1830s all the way up to 1845, 1846, because there's so many things being built. And I'm going to take some time and read up and find out why all this development was happening. And maybe it was because it's now post-emancipation, because emancipation would have happened in 1837, and now all the slaves are free, or maybe still indentured service, but they're all sorts of things that require attention and you have to pay for and have things done. So hence we have a massive building boom of so many buildings, so many churches, so many residences, so many things. I think that is really interesting. So the beauty of Farley Hill this morning. Another amazing sight in Barbados to come home and see. So happy Easter to everybody. Hope you enjoyed us this morning. I'm gonna go back to all the beautiful people who came out and walked, who have been talking and laughing and enjoying each other. We're all out here this morning for Nicholas to give him a special surprise. And oh, look at that. They are so cute. Look at that love. Guys, all that love is for you from us. So this is Happy Easter from the EMC crew. Yes, everybody is wishing you happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Awesome.
With all the love from Nicholas. So Joy and Elise and everyone who's on, please take a lovely photograph of this.
3, 2, 1. Come on, let's hear it.
What? 3, 2, 1.
Sex.
Dear Lord, I fell for that. Don't move. I want to see how I can fit in there. Yes.
Put the gimbal over there and come in. All right, let me help you. Hold on.
Okay.
Just a minute. 1 minute.
Hold on a minute. We're doing a technical goodbye.
Let's come in. You hop in there. Okay.
No.
All right, so we're going to be still shot in this, so give us a countdown, please, because we all want to say something at the right time. Where are you going, Kim? Okay, let's go, come. Ready?
Your knees are shot.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sex.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
Love from all of us. Have a
Sweet.
great day.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.
Here, Nicole, wrap up your thing. Wrap up your thing, Nicole, please.
Oh, dear Lord.
And let's go and park out on the hill.
Oh my God, that would be you and Jeanette.
So, everybody, happy Easter from all of us. We hope that it's been a wonderful morning with you. I am just fixing my hat. That's all I'm doing. Look, all the love. Look, I'm showing you all the love with me. We wish you all a blessed Easter. Stay safe. Tomorrow we will be at Surfers Bay. Monday we will be at Paris Hill looking at the kites. And Tuesday, Nick and Jeanette will take you on another beach tour, I'm sure, because by then they will need to see the sea.
Give me the most beautiful scenery, Nicole. Ready?
Yes,
Smile.
we're accommodating the birthday boy this week. He deserves his time. So from all of us, from the beautiful Farley Hill, we wish you a wonderful day. God's peace and love. Look for it. Cheryl and I will be on swing shortly. Oh, somebody's saying, Cheryl, please do an equipment check.
An equipment check, meaning what? The black cake. What's
Cheryl?
an equipment check? Remember the cake I was baking that
The time Cheryl doing the equipment check?
one time?
I don't know.
What does that mean, Nicole? Oh, you with my phone. Tell him I got it. Yeah. Don't let Nicholas sabotage my phone like that. Oh, I know. Remember, and I blame it on Nicholas.
This is my island in the sun where my people have toiled from time begun. I may sail on many a sea, her shores will always be home to me. Oh, island in the sun, willed to me by my Father's hand, all my days I will sing and praise of your forest waters, your shining suns.